Hi, good morning. Had a little problem there. Got kicked out of YouTube. Must have been something Dan did. I don't know. All right. So, did the markets make a high day yesterday? Got up there into the clouds and got near that 4,600 strike on SPX, where there's a big open interest. And it got knocked down. But as we talked about yesterday, the first reference point of support is a prior day's low. Now, today is going to be very easy to break a prior day's low. As it's opening up a little bit higher. We'll look at the S&P, S&Ps and spiders, but with a topping tail and a closing near the low versus these days where it was closing near the high, not this one, but this one had a tail on the bottom. This one had a tail on the bottom, even though this one had a open and close about the same. So to break today's low really shouldn't be a very big deal. And would it be the first time that will have happened in this run up? So not anything big as far as a turn. Just breaking below a prior day's low is not a big event, but it's in this case, it's the beginning of making a turn. Ideally, when shorting, shorting for swing trades on something that has moved up like this typically isn't the best idea because it isn't an uptrend. You have to give that the benefit of the doubt. For day trading, well, we can do that for day trades because obviously that happens a lot faster. Now, the ideal scenario, which we talk about in the green room a lot with different stocks, even for swing trades, is we like to see the hourly start to make a topping pattern, which requires there to be 2 and sometimes 3 days, maybe 2.5 days of making some type of sideways move, which creates obviously the sideways move on the hourly and moves prices away from, in this case, what would be this pivot up there. Okay? And then, of course, we look at other areas. This is the most significant part, which we talked about yesterday. So what might today bring? That's pretty benign. Maybe it should have been gapping up higher based on earnings and what moved up, what moved down. But it's just kind of in the area where it was. So SPX, you've got premium down here, which isn't all that far away. It's 45.25, but it's a pretty significant area of support. I like it a little further away than that, but I think it would do. Up above 4,600. 1 second here. You got to like 40, 46, 46.10. I'm not so sure. And these things have gotten tighter here. And with our internals giving us the sell signal that it did the end of last week, and you can see what yesterday's little move down, the breath ticked lower. And this is up here in the extreme. So I don't know if it can get down there. I'm not, I think that 45.25 area should be okay. And you got to know how to manage it. It's one of those things where I think that if you were going to do 2 contracts, do 1, whatever you were going to do half of it. And up above here, it's in an uptrend. And I want to give the benefit of the doubt for the trend, even though I'm looking for this to start to roll over here. So let's see where the futures are at. and just pretty much dead neutral, just floating down. And it came up off of that low. So the buyers are not throwing in the towel here. I don't know what Europe did overnight, but maybe it was up. Maybe it started off down. Who knows? Usually at 3 o'clock, I think is when Germany opens, 3 o'clock in the morning. And so it rolled over pretty hard. And now it's recovered after this big drop. So I see that as being neutral. And this type of a pattern, based on what I'm looking for, since this turned around on the 5, it's got to double top and start to roll over. And that's not happening yet. The hourly is kind of just drifted down here. And yeah, so it's too early to tell as far as coming all the way down here. You're going to do SPX, you know the what you're dealing with here. But I think this is a good level. Should by any chance we get a day, and I think it's too early in the week for this to happen. So, I do think this is a okay level if you're going to sell a put spread. I think it's too early in the week and too early in this move up to expect a move all the way down here. So, and obviously yesterday's high. Now we've been talking about the first reference point of support being the prior day's low. Well, now that we've got a topping tail here, the first reference will speak about the first reference point of resistance being a prior day's high. So if you want to go up above 4,600, I think that's could be okay, because there is that big resistance area there that'll probably get knocked back down from if it gets back up there again. So look for Friday, go all the way out to Friday, McGraw saying at 44.65. It's reasonable, 44.65.75. It's reasonable to think it wouldn't be down there by Friday. Of course, we don't know what today is going to bring or Thursday, but just based on the strength of this move up, it's reasonable thought. So let's just say we have patterns that we trade, right, in whatever time frame. And that guides us as to, is this a trade? Is this not a trade? Is this what would trigger the trade? So what McGraw is suggesting here is selling a put spread that is down in this area here. So we really don't have enough information to say there's any kind of a trade here. Now, credit spreads are a different animal than a swing trade, of course. So as I look at this and say, okay, internals being what I've already spoken about, looking at this trend, how it went up, how many days to expiration, what is the possibility of coming down here by Friday? I would say it's small, just based on what I'm seeing right now and what I've explained. Clearly, if we were looking at a day where, say, today was down here and we had a range expansion bar, topping tail, and a range expansion bar down, that's going to change my opinion. So we'll see what today brings. But I think that's a reasonable idea and something to say that you might want to leg into. So there you go. Qs, same back off, things backed off. And it started yesterday pretty much across the board. I'll go back to yesterday. Over here. No, that wasn't it, but it was the bar. Why does it say 19? Is this a similar bar? 26. There. I guess it was this bar yesterday at 11:30, where the S&Ps, everything just had a big nasty down bar, and that started to move down. That drove prices down into the unfilled gap. But this is look, blast off. Buyers aren't giving it up here, so whatever this topping tail is, they are not throwing in the towel here. There's plenty of time. Obviously, it's early in the day, but here's the concept. Right? I just have to keep reiterating this for those of you on YouTube that are new to the channel or new to Master Trader or anybody new in the room, is just learn to look to the left. I mean, look at the pivots over here, and it comes down and it stabilizes. The momentum stalls. So buyers down here, it breaks out and then comes all the way back down. Clearly, the retracement back down here is a concern that maybe it turns around. So you've got a significant reference point of support there. You start watching the price action on a smaller time frame. I mean, I guess you could trade this, but if you're intraday, the 5-minute, you see this retest pattern here and it starts to move up. And, you say, well, my share size is for down below here. It keeps holding and holding. So, all right. So how far is this going to get before it hits anything? Well, it's going to hit some resistance right there. So we'll just see where this starts to battle between buyers and sellers. And the Russell kind of gave a lot back there yesterday. And kind of makes sense, of course, as it gets closer to the top of the range. As other markets reached some resistance, was backed off. Pretty messy move up there. It's on some support down here. You can see when things move up in like that with overlapping bars, it creates lots of pivots. Yeah. Boeing for a put spread next week. I think that's possible. It's on support, McGraw. Dan usually covers those, but it's got some kind of a little move up going on there this morning. But it's right down, wider range bar. And we look at this is just the opposite. And some people get hung up on shorting but point here is that we look at things in the same way, whether things are going up or down. Like, okay, this is an igniting bar up, and sometimes we get ending bars where the range expansion. So this was going down, down, down. It gets near support in a range expansion bar. You should be thinking momentum's going to slow. And now we've got this move up. I guess there was some news since this is up in this area. So yeah, put spread for even for Friday, or if you want to go next week, sure. All right, TLT is up. Peter's telling me, which means bonds are going up. Right. There's the 10-year beginning to turn. And I talked about this yesterday, the greater than 100% retracement breaking below here. TBT, just whipping back and forth, pushing that back down again. This is messy. I don't know what that's going to do. Transports backed off as well yesterday, topping tail. I think we've got pretty good information here that the markets have stalled and there is the possibility of a retracement. We're going to need maybe this morning to see, maybe by the end of the day, to see if buyers are ready to truly throw in the towel a little bit for a some type of a move lower. So one day is just that, one day. And so while this has become somewhat climactic, it did start from a longer consolidation. I think buyers will be somewhat aggressive, and to see if these airlines can get turned around. Hold on a second. They're coming down to support. They stabilized. They were up early in the morning yesterday, and then they backed off as the market fell. So maybe there's a trade here. The fact that it's fallen so far into this support. So I would look at the airline stocks and see if they start to show some relative strength. Crude oil backing off. Oh, that's fallen a little more sharply than when I had looked at it earlier. But it's in a self-correcting type of uptrend. But look at the way it went up here And just look, we're price pattern traders. We look at details in price action. That's what we don't use indicators. And we don't use derivatives of what moves them. I didn't get that. I don't get it. I didn't bypass the indicator-based methodology when I started out, but it sure made me wonder, how that all worked. It was pretty confusing. Anyway, so nice fluid move up. This was a fluid type of move up. And here the bars start to overlap each other a little bit, but still bullish, right? Bottoming tails. Now the range begins to expand and you get the larger tails and overlapping bodies. And now this topping tail. So the momentum is slowing. It doesn't mean the trend is over. It would have to break down below this pivot, but it's still in a nice strong uptrend. Clearly, you can see the weekly's a little bit extended. It would make sense for this to pull back. And so that leads to a thought of, hey, maybe oil related stocks, XLE, ETFs, and Halliburton and whatever's out there. Maybe they're decent bear call spreads, or maybe intraday shorts. Get going here. Dow, same story here. Momentum slowing down. We'll see if it actually closes below a prior day's low. Volatility index is way down low, and it's been chopping around here. So set an alert above that high, just maybe give you a heads up for a possible turn. And Bitcoin's down a bunch, but we knew, talked about this over the last few days, that it was up into this resistance area and a greater than 100% retracement to look for a pullback. All right, Dan, all yours. JR asking me a link to TC 2000 to E-Trade in order to trade. I don't know anything about that, JR. Can I link TC? No, TC 2000 has their own brokerage firm, which I believe they clear through Interactive Brokers.
Yeah, so Bitcoin down 5%. I thought the cult says that's a stable currency. How would you like the US dollar to be down 5% overnight? And I don't know. Well, the one obvious news is Hood here had earnings, Robinhood, and they said that their cryptocurrency traders and accounts were significantly less the last quarter. And so I don't know if that's what's dragging the whole darn sector lower or what, but yeah, so crypto looks like a short-term top, as Greg just talked about. Boyd here, we had a $60 put that we held over earnings, and this is exactly perfect, where it's down here 3 cents, so that's just going to totally deflate those $60 puts we have. So I said just bid a nickel to get out. We should get out at a nickel pretty easy, being that far away. All our opens are fine. Actually been scaling back a little bit. Myrna put spread has to be over yesterday's high, McGraw, in my opinion, or at a minimum 30-minute high, or maybe just set an alarm at 350, which is a little bit just eyeballing above this congestion over here. And it's a bio. We did a put spread last Thursday, and it stopped us out on a downgrade the next day, but the chart looks fine. But just as bear in mind the gap news. Raul TGH. Yeah, absolutely. The 1, 2, 3 to all-time highs. Yeah, I like it a lot. That might be on our list already. Tesla, of all the FANGs, well, Microsoft, believe it or not, it's not a FANG, but I kind of always look at it in the same group. But Microsoft is up gapping all-time highs. The other FANGs are kind of neutral, but Tesla here. Now it's up here, $25. Goldman gave it an upgrade, and that actually shocks me. Usually I thought Goldman was a little bit better than that. You know, given an upgrade on a climactic cell setup, topping tail, climactic volume, seriously? That's, you know, and I told you yesterday somebody was selling put spread on it. I don't know. And Raoul Fit B and space and run. Fit B, I have no idea what you're looking at there. It's in an uptrend on the daily, weekly, monthly, but a downtrend on the 15-minute chart. It might be a day trade, but you don't have a price void. So I'm not crazy about it. Space gapping down looks lower. 30-minute low looks lower. I have two shorts here on my radar. One here is B, Bravo, descending triangle and a nasty downtrend, breakdown, daily, weekly. So this is it's not a gapper, but this is like a tier one breakdown, absolutely. And that's my other one, Lemonade. So these are my two short watches. Lemonade has, you know, some overlapping bars support over here. So I actually like M. I'm not B better. Yeah, something's up with solar stocks here. Said G gapping up huge. Let's watch a pullback. Look at run. Run, I've been trying for the longest time to get us a naked put, and we just never got filled. I just love that weekly retest bottoming pattern. My target's always been 60 bucks. There's nothing to do with it now. Look at Fizzler. Fizzler gap breakout. Pretty darn close to all-time highs. Wow. Let's watch that on a pullback. Yeah, and you know, those things, there's so much stuff is moving with the Biden socialism bill. Oh, it was all over the news today, how they are just trying to keep taxing the billionaires. And I guess Elon Musk came out and started blasting them. KAVL. This could set up for a nice little day trade. I got Lemonade on the other computer. Let's put Cavill right there. How about home? Stan, not sure what you're asking me. We're in it and it looks fine. You can add, it's gapping. Well, it's actually gapping, you know, it's flat or whatever. 10-minute low. If the market is not rallying, you can add to that position. Google, another, there's a lot of big, I think I heard, I don't know what wait to expire means. We're just in management mode like we are at every other trade. All right, Google here, another big powerhouse, reported earnings. It's actually turning green right here. Gap down, and this is also on my put spread list. Hey, do you remember I said yesterday that this would be a fantastic candidate, at least technically speaking? You still got the gap risk, of course, but I said to sell an iron condor, 2,900, you know, maybe do $20 wide, 2,600, and that would have been absolute beautiful home run the way it's opening right now. But you know, it was down a little bit post market, so that's a put spread watch. Yeah, definitely, it's on the list, my bro. Here, look, I posted it once already, but here it is again. So I went through all these earnings, and I already went through I deleted a bunch of them, and every single one of these are credit spread ideas. Lennar is not earnings, but I read in the journal today that they're teaming up with a 3D building company in Austin, Texas, where they're going to build, I think, 10,000 3D homes. And I told you before, I really like that technology. They said they can build all the walls and structure and everything in a week. It's kind of a little bull flag here. It's actually worth watching. Google bottom right, popping out of the gate. I don't do anything on earnings. All right, this M I like. So let's short a 5-minute low. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Lemonade. Lemonade. We can. Q's popped a little bit, but the other horsemen are not going anywhere. So let's short a 5-minute low. Lemonade stopped yesterday's high.